The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico de Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning, I'm Nico de Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world to recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. And it's a beautiful day in downtown St. Petersburg. It's 77 degrees, clear skies. It's going to be a beautiful day today with a little afternoon rain and the usual setup for us in August. I'd like to remind people, please, to pick up our Health Signals newsletter. I have it right here someplace. Here we go. Starts with Monsanto paying those lawsuits, and a lot of information here this month for this particular issue and the one that's coming out I'm working on right now before I leave for vacation. So please pick that up. It's only $10 a month, gets you 2 issues, so it's $5 an issue. Plenty of things to keep you busy all month long to do any research that you want to do on the stuff we cover here on the show. The other thing is, of course, we have our Primal Edge. We have over 310 organic cell-ready liquid ingredients, and this is really run by fulvic and humic acid, and you hear us talk about this a lot because it's very important to let good stuff in and take the bad stuff out of your body, and that's what this does. It's no good taking your vitamins when you have no system to alert the body what's going on. It all has to do with our hormones, and this is what activates those hormones. We'll be talking about that a little bit later, too. Paige is out this week. She's out getting her jaw readjusted, and she'll probably have some interesting information on that as she goes through this process, trying to rework her whole jaw so she can breathe better. I want to start off today with this global wheat supply seems to fall to critical levels. Now, this has been going on a little bit a while, but we know there's a lot of climate change happening. We have a lot of extreme weather right now. It's either too hot or it's too wet or it's too cold in different parts of the world. But the main wheat-producing countries have drawn down the reserves of the major exporters to their lowest levels since 2007-2008, when low grain stocks contributed to food riots across Africa and Asia. Now, global stocks are expected to hit 273 million tons at the start of this year of the marketing season, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture estimate. But the problem is that nearly half of it is in China, and they're not likely to release any onto the global markets this year. China is well aware of what's coming around the corner, and what we're talking about, of course, is the type of analysis that Adapt 2030 does on YouTube, talking about the Chinese dynasties falling at the grand solar minimums. And if you go back in history, it's got a lot of charts that show that when the weather changes, and the Chinese have been tracking this for thousands and thousands of years, that every single time it seems like the dynasty falls. So civilization kind of comes to a halt and then kind of reboots again afterwards. It is expected that by the end of the season, the 8 major exporters will be left with just 20% of the world stocks of wheat over 26 days coverage, down from 1/3 a decade ago. The USDA estimates that China, which consumes 16% of the world's wheat, will hold 46% of its stocks at the beginning of the season, which starts now, and more than half by the end of the season. The 126.8 million tons China is expected to hold is up 135% from the 54 million tons that was 5 years ago. People need to get rid of China's stocks for their calculations. If you do that, it's just exceptionally tight right now. Dan Bassett, the president of Ag Resource Co. company in Chicago. A repeat of the 27-28 crisis occurring during the minimum of solar cycle 23, which forced many countries to limit or ban exports. This is a real possibility now. The recent 4-year high for wheat prices of $5.93 a bushel pales in comparison to the high of $13.34 a bushel in February 2008. The wheat crop in several of the country's biggest exporters, which is Argentina, Australia, Canada, the European Union, Kazakhstan, Russia, Ukraine, and the United States, has taken a severe hit this year. Germany is set to the lowest grain harvest in 24 years after crops whittled under highest summer temperatures since 1881. Russia's agricultural ministry held a meeting with grain traders on Friday to discuss the export volumes. Curbs may be imposed later in the season following complaints from domestic meat producers about the rising cost of animal feed. We're seeing nations that ordinarily export beginning to hold their own stocks. We've lived through plenty of decades, but the modern maximum is over, and we're talking about the maximum of the sun. We now are going into what we call the grand solar minimum, and we've discussed this quite a bit on the show, and I just want you to be aware that we do think that the cooling is coming. And if you're listening to the Electric Universe, you're listening to Adapt 2030, listening to Suspicious Observer, all on YouTube, you can go over there and do your own research and make up your own mind. Yeah, I think this is coming, folks. I think, as I've been saying all along, that I think if you are not prepared, this is the time to do it, this last year, because next year we'll probably be going into cycle 25, and you can see already the dramatic changes, and now the Weather Channel is even coming out talking about a cooler summer for the east, the southeast, maybe warmer in the west, but Europe is definitely going to go through a big chill. We already had reports of the Gulf Stream slowing down. We've had reports of the ocean currents changing, that there's a big blob of cold water in the mid-Atlantic heading north. Right now it's a little bit more warmer up in the North Atlantic, but we think this change is coming. So I think you have to do your own research, and that's why I listen to the alternative types of news in this, which is the Adapt 2030, Suspicious Observer, Ice Age Farmer. There's a lot of different information out there, and of course you have the conventional stuff you can listen to too if you want. But when you're seeing the types of disruption that we've had this past summer and the late spring that we've had, you can see planting is down everywhere. Certainly in the United States, we probably have lost about 20% of the crop coming just into the spring. And that doesn't include what's happened all during the summer, and we don't know if the early freeze is coming. There's already on the weather report some snow happening in northern Canada, some snow happening in some of the mountains in the United States also. So we see the change is coming, and I think it's a good idea to pay attention to this. And I do outline this stuff, of course, in our Health Signals newsletter. I don't know if I have anything in there this month from it, but generally I put an article on there, and I know I'm working on one right now that talks about this. So anyway, stick around, folks. We've got a lot more. We're going to be talking a little bit about how to keep yourself healthy. So stick around for that. Pick up some Primal Edge. Pick up the Health Signals newsletter. You'll be all set. And the number here is 877-927-6648, and we'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Nico here. Paige is out this week, and I'm heading for vacation. Really excited, going up to Michigan, see my children, my grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. I have great-grandchild number 3, Sydney, getting married this next weekend. And so we're going up for that, celebrate that with them. And, of course, we'll be seeing the whole gang, all my 6 grandchildren and the 4 great-grandchildren and my kids and all the rest of the people that go along with them. Love them to death, really anxious to see them. You know, when you see them only once a year, sometimes once every 2 years, sometimes more, you know, but in this modern world, it gets more and more difficult to see. We used to be hanging around with all these people all the time, and now because of all the different disruptions in our modern living, it seems that we drift apart a lot easier, and we're frantically trying to stay in touch through these new modern methods. You know, we used to write letters and things like that, but now it's strictly, if you get an email, you're lucky, but you get a little text here and there, and of course you see them on Facebook, and that seems to help a little bit. But I wanted to talk about some of the sneaky ways that we can get ill in our modern world, because we have a lot of different insults that seems to get in the way of us being healthy, because I think the natural state of a human being is to be healthy, and I think our ancient ancestors, and I think the documentation that we have, the little that we do have, really emphasizes that we were in really, really good health. Of course, there were times when times get tough. Mother Nature, it tends to be, doesn't always get along with us, and of course we have those things to deal with. But now in the modern world, we have a heck of a lot more than just the predators out there, or maybe the tribe next door. We have things in our environment and things in our food that never used to be there. And these extra things really raise havoc in our body. And they do that by the way of our signaling processes. And the signaling processes in our body are all ruled by different chemicals, and we know them as hormones. And our hormones are really the thing that tells our body what to do and when to do it. And most of them are automatic. A lot of them are triggered by the things that we do, whether it be getting into the sun or exposing ourselves to toxins, or when we go into the water, or when we take saunas, or when we're doing physical activity. All these things play a role in how these hormones interact with our body and tell our bodies what to do, how to keep us healthy, or in the case of our modern situation, they do a lot of disruptions. Now, these conditions that we see mainly in society today are like obesity is the number one, diabetes, cancer, infidelity, hypothyroidism, and the list goes on to Alzheimer's, dementia, and all these things. These things kind of seem like they're unrelated in a way because they're all different types of ailments that we have, and maybe the treatment for these in modern science is different, so we think of them different, but the truth is that they share a common denominator, one that is often overlooked, and these conditions are all caused or worsened by the imbalances that we have in our hormones, also known as the endocrine disruption. Now, this disruption is a complex network of glands, organs, and tissues that secrete different hormones. Hormones are simply chemical messengers. They send signals from one part of the body to another with instructions to carry out vital functions that affect growth, metabolism, reproduction, immune health, and many more things. Your endocrine system is extremely sensitive, and many tissues can dictate hormonal signals even in concentrations as low as trillions of a gram. So this level of sensitivity can have an advantage when it comes to detecting chemical messages from within our own body. It's unfortunate, however, that our modern world is filled with all kinds of compounds that mimic some of these signals from the hormones, and they can easily disrupt the delicate balance of our immune system. And these known as endocrine disrupting chemicals, and of course they have a little singlet for it, EDCs. They're sneaky chemicals that wreak havoc by mimicking the action of natural hormones like estrogen and testosterone, setting off similar chemical reactions in the body. They're also blocking the receptor cells that receive the hormones, preventing the actions by the body's natural hormones. And a lot of the other things is altering the body's manufacture, transport, metabolism, and excretion of the hormones. Because of the interconnected nature of this system, an imbalance in just one area can set off a chain reaction, kind of like a line of dominoes falling. So how do these disruptors make their way into your body? So we've discussed before that hormones aren't just produced inside the body, are also introduced by the foods that we eat and the chemicals that we ingest or we come in contact with, including some of these that we may rub on our body, maybe like skincare products, things like that. So in our diet, we upset the harmony in two different ways. By eating animal foods, which are like dairy products, meats, eggs, and fish that have been treated with synthetic hormones. The other thing is by ingesting and absorbing endocrine disruptors that come from pesticides and conventionally grown produce. Plastics are used in stores and they heat the food in these things. Non-stick pans are another place where you can get these chemicals in personal care products, as well as chemicals found in farm-raised fish and conventional animal foods. And so you might think that you may not be getting a lot of these, but when you just look at those three things, by eating animal foods that are treated with synthetic hormones and maybe in their feed, this is just happening just about everywhere unless you really have the humane type of farming that we talked about the other day with like the white pastures in Georgia. So if you're using these kind of things, you eliminate a lot of chemicals right there. The other thing is by ingesting, absorbing these disruptors from pesticides. Well, if you're using things like Roundup, if you're carrying your groceries and your food in plastics, these things can rub off and transfer into the food. So there's a lot of ways doing it. So if you're carrying your organic groceries in these plastic bags, that can transfer over into those organic groceries. So, and you know, these plastics, these PCBs and those type of things, they stick to things. So you can't really wash them off a lot of the time too, and you don't know where they are and where they've been, that type of thing. Let's see, while these Well, these toxins are quickly absorbed. They're very slow to go, meaning that once they get into your body, they can enter pretty quickly, but your body has a tough time getting rid of them. That's because they accumulate in the fatty tissue and slowly drip out of their hormonal instructions over a long period of time. And because women have naturally a high level of body fat, they are prone to more of the perils of these types of disruptions. So just think about it. If you're overweight and you have a lot of these fat cells and they're pretty large, the toxins are stored in these things. So the fat is actually there as a protection mechanism, so they won't go in your body. This is one of the ways that your body tries to get rid of things. We try to get rid of it through your poop and through your urine and things like that and through your sweat, but a lot of these things are trapped inside those fat cells. And when you go to release these fat cells, you go on a diet, then they can play a real part in discouraging you to do that. So this is why a lot of people have a lot of problems losing weight. They'll lose those 30 pounds pretty fast and they'll stay there for a while, but then things get tough. Then the body gets really stubborn, and some of these hidden toxins come out really slowly. Some of them come out fast where you feel really bad the next day.
Presentation.
But they can do a lot of things. So it's really important to understand that, just entering your body is bad, but when they release from your fat cells, that it can really get bad there for sure. So the good news is that there's a lot of things that you can do to avoid these harmful chemicals, even detoxify from them. So this is really an important part, from cans and bottles to personal care products like fragrances and cleaning agents. These disruptors are everywhere. And if you think a little won't hurt, think again, because you're building these things up in your body. So this is not something you want to do. When it comes to personal care and household cleaning products, opt for products that are made with natural and organic ingredients. And when it comes to food, well, that's the thing we're going to talk about next. So we'll be right back. You stick around, folks. Time to pick up some Primal Edge. Please pick up our Health Signals newsletter while you're at it, and I will be right back.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back. Paige is out right now. I'm leaving on vacation Wednesday morning, going up to Michigan. So I will not be back until the Thursday after Labor Day. And Paige will be back, I think, the Tuesday after that. So that's the way it is. Okay, so we're talking about these hormone disruptors and where they're found. And when it comes to personal care and household cleaning products, opt for products that are made with natural and organic ingredients. Always the best thing to do. When it comes to food, here are some of the main endocrine disruptors that make their way into your meals. And then I'll show you some ways how to have them or get rid of them. First one is BPA, which is found in plastics with recycling code 3 or 7, as well as the can liners and other packaging that leaches into food and beverages. BPA has also been linked with fertility problems, cancer, thyroid dysfunction, and more. Of course, in the news, a lot of infertility, and this started with these types of products. DDT, so DDT is an organic chloride, has been banned since 1972. The 1.8 million tons we use still persist in nature and continue to pollute the food chain. DDT is still also used in crops in other countries, which are then exported back to the U.S. The chemical interacts with the reproductive development, the thyroid function, and the risk of hormone-dependent cancers. Exposure in the womb can increase a child's risk of childhood obesity. Diotoxins. These compounds accumulate in humans and animals due to their affinity for fat. The dioxins enter our bodies almost exclusively from food, and especially through the consumption of farmed fish and conventional meat and dairy byproducts. These are really difficult to get rid of, folks. So this is really the reason why years and years ago that Paige and I both switched over to the organic meats that are the animals now are not only treated very humanely, but they don't have the chemicals in them. They're not given the GMO foods. They're out there in the pasture seeking their own food, which is going to be 100 times better than anything else that we can pick for them. And then in the wintertime, if they're in a climate that dictates it, then they're put in a barn and fed hay instead of the grains. And then they're not finished in grains to fatten them up later. So this is the type of stuff that you want to seek out. It's really important. These things, because of these compounds are difficult to expel, they accumulate up the food chain. So dioxins are highly carcinogenic and known to cause birth defects. They also promote acne, damage the nervous system, cause thyroid disorders, reduce immune function, and play a role in diabetes and the metabolic syndrome. So organic phosphates, those are called OPs. These chemicals are found in many insecticides and herbicides. They are powerful immune disruptors and are highly neurotoxic, even at low levels of exposure. And this is what we always hear. We hear, well, it's so little in there. Well, it does add up because it's everywhere, and they're using this stuff everywhere. Phthalates. These are most prevalent in personal care products. They're including like nail polish, shampoo, fragrances, lotions, insect repellents, and also different types of plastics. These things are everywhere in these types of products, so you have to really go to a health food store and make sure that the products you are using do not have these in it, because even the low dosage that these products have can accumulate in your body. And you, like I said, your fat stores will store them. The PFCs, these chemicals are used to make material stains and stick resistant. PFCs are endocrine disruptors and are closely linked to the development of tumors. PFCs are found in non-stick pans as well as grease-resistant food packaging. I didn't even know they had that, and paper products such as microwave popcorn bags and pizza boxes. So these things are used in the fast food industry a lot, and they're going to be in there for you. Let's see, now we have the PBDE, which is polybromided some kind of ethers. These contain contaminants impair development of the nervous system and are potent endocrine disruptors, particularly on estrogen and thyroid hormones. The PBDEs are most commonly found in conventional meat and dairy byproducts, as well as farmed raised fish. So, food is the number one thing we always talk about here, and the food really needs to be clean. So if we have any of these type of disruptors in your food, you're going to accumulate there day after day, month after month, year after year. And by the time you reach my age, you're not going to be feeling too good. And then you're going to be wondering what's one of these 6 different symptoms that we have. So let's go over some of the things that are really essential to what I call living a primal lifestyle, and knowing that your food is as clean as you can get. So here's a few changes that you need to make. First of all, you need to go organic, you need to go grass-fed and wild if possible. Choose foods produced as nature intended and without the pesticides, hormones. This is vital to avoiding any of these endocrine disruptions in your food supply. And it's a thing that you should do immediately. The grand solar minimum is upon us, so things are going to become scarcer and scarcer. So this is a good time to start stocking up on some of these products that we always talk about, the good sustainable meats and things like that. At the same time, we know that we're going to need some starvation food probably in years to come. So pick some of that up and store it. But make sure it's organic first. Make sure that you've got the best product you can, so your survival will mean something later. Number 2 is avoid plastic. Choose glass instead. Eliminate plastic food storage cans and plastic bottles. Opt for glass whenever you can. An inert and an inexpensive option. Yeah, it's a little bulkier, harder to carry, but it's really good. Avoid cans. Instead of BPA-lined cans, choose food packaged in glass whenever possible. Number 4, upgrade your cookware. Toss out your non-stick cookware. Opt for cast iron. High quality enameled cast iron or stainless steel. These are probably the best products, those non-stick cookware. Really, if you use cast iron the proper way and you use it in the way that my grandmother used to do it, where you put lard in it and you season it and you stick it in the oven for a while and season it for a few hours, that turns into a non-stick pan that you can't really damage. They're relatively inexpensive. You can get them already seasoned, but I usually try to season it even when I get it. So I think it's a good thing to do. Number 5 is choose green personal care and household products. This is some of the stuff that you may not think about immediately when you're thinking about changing your diet and some of the foods, but this is definitely important because remember, this is stuff that you use on your largest organ, which is your skin. So whether you're washing your hair or cleaning or using makeup or eyeliner or putting lipstick on or just using deodorant, you need to go natural because this is much, much better for you, and it's going to let you when you do that detox, it's going to be a lot easier for you because you're going to have much less to detox. Number 6 is eat a low sugar ancestral style diet. Reduce your sugar in your diet from all sources to protect your endocrine system and slow down the aging process. Discuss this end over end, that sugar is the culprit here and not the demonized fat that we've been talking about for years. It's this type of thing, this change in your diet that can make you go from a person that doesn't feel quite right to somebody that's super healthy. And, of course, the other thing is to throw some exercise in there, folks. Stick around, folks. I got a lot more. I invite you to please pick up our Primal Edge, over 310 organic, cell-ready ingredients, all to make you healthy and help the journey along the way. Stick around. I'll be right back. You know what's cool? taking something that's good for you, something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And welcome back. And when we talk about food a lot, we really do emphasize fat on this particular program, Living a Primal Lifestyle, and fats are really important. Of course, they've been vilified for many years, but now they're kind of coming out. And there's so many different diets out there. You know, 10 years ago, we started talking about the paleo primal style diet. And then as we got into it, we talked about the Weston A. Price and how he discovered these people living all over the world that were still eating their natural food, indigenous people, and how healthy they were. And he discovered, much to his dismay in the beginning, that these were people who were not vegetarians, but they were primarily eating animal foods of some kind, whether it was fish or insects, reptiles, or the mammals. It didn't seem to really make a difference. But one of the things that we discovered, of course, is that fat, after being vilified for so many years, plays a huge, important role in our health. And we talked about saturated fat. That's been vilified because it's a solid type of fat. When you have it on the counter, it's solid. Whereas all these vegetable oils, when you go into the grocery store, you see them all lined up, and they're maybe in clear bottles, some of them are in dark bottles, but they're all liquid. And the consensus is, well, this is harmful here on this side because it's solid, and this being liquid is really good for you, when actually the reverse is true. So these types of fats that are in the so-called vegetable oils, and these really seed oils is what I call them. They're not made out of vegetables at all. They're made out of seeds, most of them. whether it's flax seeds or sesame seeds or rice or wheat. It doesn't really matter. These are all types of grass seeds. The other type, and these are called polyunsaturated fats. Now, there's another polyunsaturated fats that we talk about, and those are the omega-3s. They also have the omega-3s, the 6s and 9s and 12s and things like that. And we know that if we want to be healthy, we need a certain ratio of, and normally we just take the two numbers, the omega-3 and the omega-6s, and we say 1 omega-3 to 1 omega-6 is really the ideal. So this is a nicely balanced system. Even if you go as high, like an animal eating grass in the springtime is probably a 1-to-1 ratio in that type of fat. 3 to 6, but if you go into the fall where the grass now is not green anymore and maybe they're eating hay by this time, then you can see that fat content changes to a 3-to-1, 4-to-1, maybe even a 5-to-1 ratio. Now, what we have found out too, that when we feed animals grains, those seed oils that they're trying to push on us, only in the form of grains, the animal takes on that same type of thing. Instead of being 1-to-1 ratio or even 3-to-1 or 5-to-1, it goes on to being about 15-to-1 and maybe as high as 30 or 40-to-1 when you include that they're also giving them hormones and things like that to offset because of the bad food they're getting. It really doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Here they have to pay for the food, and they have to pay for the doctor to come in and give them these hormone shots and these antibacteria types of things to keep them. But if you look at it, the corn farmer has already been subsidized with their wheat, growing their wheat and their corn and whatever they're feeding the animals. So, you know, there's a lot of things going on where money exchanges back and forth. So I don't really want to talk about the money, but I do want to talk about the difference between the plant-based omega-3s and the animal-based omega-3s. So animal-based omega-3s is found in the fatty fish, the fish oils and krill oil, primarily this DHA. It's a long chain of the PUFAs, 22 carbons, and the EPA, which has 20 carbons. So the DHA and the EPA are the compounds found in the animal-based omega-3s. Now, if you go over the plant-based omega-3s found in flaxseed oil, chia seeds, walnut seeds, leafy greens, for example, they have the ALA, which is the alpha-linoleic acid. It's a shorter chain of the PUFA containing only 18 carbons. Plant-based omega-3 is completely devoid of the DHA and the EPA. This is important to understand, because if you're taking your omega-3s from a plant-based source like flaxseed, which many, many people do, then you're asking your body to convert that EPA to the DHA and the EPA, or the ALA. The alpha-linoleic acid has to be converted over by your own body. So ALA is indeed a precursor to the EPA and DHA, which is why some can say you simply consume plant-based omega-3s. However, an enzyme is required to convert the shorter 18-carbon ALA into a long-chained omega-3, and in most people, this enzyme is simply unable to convert the sufficient amount of ALA to EPA and even less to the DHA. Typically, less than 1% of the ALA is converted to the EPA, and some studies have found that the conversion rate to be as low as 0.1 or 0.5%. So that's 0.01%. EPA, some studies have found that the conversion rate is very, very low. So while a tiny amount of ALA you consume can be converted to your body to a long chain omega-3, it's highly inefficient strategy and nowhere near as helpful as supplying the straight DHA, EPA from marine sources. So if you're getting from a salmon out in the northwest of the United States, then you're getting the source right from the animal. And we know this is the best way. Now, if you're going to supplement this, that changes the whole thing, doesn't it? As structures, DHA and EPA are particularly important for proper cell division function of cell receptors. They also play an important role in the anti-inflammatory reactions. These fats are ideally obtained from the consumption of small fatty fish that are free of toxins. Unfortunately, most people opt for fish oil supplements over eating fatty fish like sardines and anchovies or herring. So these are the three primary sources. And these things are found everywhere. You can pick up a can of the anchovies or sardines or herring just about any place. Overall health benefits of DHA and EPA are well established. Research has provided clear evidence that the higher intake of these animal-based omega-3 fats reduces your risk of heart disease and other chronic diseases, and they're vital for the neurological health, in other words, your brain. Despite that, a number of studies have come up with conflicting results when studying the effects of fish oil supplements, which are generally accepted as a convenient source of the important facts. And this being the way things are stored, a lot of these types of PUFAs, when they're made, and if they're made synthetically, they're not going to give you the same type of hormone balance that you can get from the source of the fish themselves. But if you do get it, there are some sources out in the blogosphere that you can get for the EPA and the DHA, and Paige and I have talked about the different sources. Of course, we do have a great source in our Primal Edge. If you're taking all the Primal Edge, you've got the amount that you need in there. If you want to take more, if you're a little bit older like I am, I usually take a little bit more, so I pop a couple of pills from a reputable firm that I use. So this is something that you can supplement, and I encourage you to supplement from a really good source, but also include this in your diet, because that's really the best way to get it. Stick around, folks. I'll be right back. The number here is 877-927-6648, and I'll be back in a few minutes.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools, as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply Simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors.
And welcome back to the show. I want to talk a little bit about what you do after strenuous exercise. I found this interesting little thing here. It's spy.com. I don't know why I was on that, but it talks about, when you may have a strenuous workout. When I go to jiu-jitsu, a lot of times we're doing a lot of training and we're doing a lot of things over and over again. You might be going up and down off the floor 50 or 60 times, and then your quads start hurting, and the next day you're walking around, and it's very difficult. So it's important to use some of these techniques to get rid of some of this pain, because it can linger quite hard, and these things will make it just a little bit easier. First thing that they mention here is roll-on muscle ice. And this roll-on muscle ice uses essential oils like lavender, cinnamon, and orange to relieve any aches and pains. It's not really expensive, and you just kind of roll it on like a body odor type of thing, and you just dab it on there, and it seems to work pretty well. Another thing that I've used, besides if you don't have any ice to put on, or a cold pack of some kind, then BioFreeze uses a pain relief gel. And even though this feels cold, it actually is a chemical reaction, and it's soothing. It's not really expensive, but it does kind of trick your body into thinking that you're getting cold, which helps reduce some of that inflammation. Next one is Pain Relief in 90 Seconds. So this is actually a book with a good stretch, and certainly I've used different types of stretches before, and I haven't read this book, to be honest with you, but Anderson is a therapist that knows a lot about this. The type of method that I use for my stretching is active isolated stretching, and this is a stretching with a lot of movement involved. You only hold the stretch for a couple of sessions. If you go to a website like called what the heck is that name? I think it's called Safe Exercise. Anyway, Safe Stretch, it's called, safestretch.com. Go there and they run you through a whole bunch of different routines. A really good site, and it uses the Mattis type of stretching that Aaron Mattis taught me years ago for stretching, which I think is probably one of the best methods to use. Another thing here is using this muscle body stick. I've used that many, and this is just to get that fascia tissue that's loosened up. Then they have things like different types of muscle jelly and bath salts that you can use. I'm out of time. Hope this helps a little bit. I'll see you after vacation. Enjoy yourself. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across